We're going to be talking about Kingdom of Saudi Arabia and the changes that's happened in the past few years. We all have our eyes on the market. I went there a couple of weeks ago and I was absolutely amazed at the fast moving changes that's happening within Riyadh. So we have some fantastic guests from Riyadh today. We have Charbel, and I'm actually going to let people talk about themselves because I might say something that's completely wrong or exaggerate something. So Charbel is the Senior Spa Director of the Four Seasons Hotel Riyadh Kingdom Centre. Tell us a little bit about yourself, Charbel.
So my name is Charbel, as you may know. I started with Four Seasons 15 years ago, and I'm actually in the role of taking care of the region of the KSA. So as Janet mentioned before, being in the KSA and with the expansion that is happening now, it is really important to take care of that market itself with the competition, with a lot happening, so we need to be on top of things. And this is why I'm there since January last year.
Great. And we have Daniela Nikolic from the Fairmont Riyadh Spa Director.
Hello, everyone. So I'm new in Riyadh. I have been there for 6 months. It's a very exciting market for 24 years old industry veteran, and it's very exciting to be there to see the Saudi developing and that everything is basically for yesterday. So we'll be very happy to share some experiences with you. Thank you.
Great, we're playing Pass the Parcel with the mic. Some people are mic'd up. We have Rabia Boubeya, Spa Manager Core Life.
Hi, I'm Rabia. I'm Spa Manager in Core Riyadh. I'm living in Saudi Arabia from 2013. I'm working in the spa, wellness, and clinic surgery. So from that time to now, I will speak a lot about the all of this change in Saudi Arabia.
Yeah,
So
Rabia comes with a huge amount of knowledge, and I went to see the Core Spa when I was in Riyadh a few weeks ago, and it's absolutely amazing. It's a beautiful property you have there.
Yeah, we have a lot of branch, and it's a private membership with luxury spa.
And then we have Laura Telford, Cluster Spa Director for Marriott International, the Red Sea Project. Hi, Laura.
Hello, thank you for the introduction. So I am Laura Telford, and I've been very fortunate to be in Saudi for 3 years now, and I've worked across Riyadh, Jeddah, and now I'm in the Red Sea. So I was very fortunate to work with these two lovely people in Core, and as I say now, going from more a social wellness club that we worked in Saudi is now going into the resorts and over in the Red Sea in one of the Giga projects. So very exciting times ahead.
Great. And lastly, but not least, of course, Milos, you're the multi-site manager from Core as well. Yeah?
Yes, can you hear me? Can you hear me? Yes? Okay. Yeah, thank you. So I am also fortunate to be in Saudi Arabia since 2021, working with Rabia, working before with Laura as well. I am a spa manager for Jeddah, so for the coastal side of Saudi Arabia, and for our newly open beach resort.
Great. Just from the audience again, any of you been to Saudi Arabia in the last year? I know you have. Faye, definitely. Who else? Anybody else? Sharon. Great.
So you understand where we come from.
So we're going to start off with, obviously, there's a lot of changes that have been happening within Saudi. And so, Charbel, what are sort of the changes you've seen in the past decade in terms of spas, accessibility, gender, licensing?
So I've been there for 1 year, not more than that, but I've been following the market for some time. And the biggest change I've seen is moving from the traditional spa industry to what is wellness and luxury and high tech. I mean, high tech is taking a great place in Saudi Arabia at the moment. This is number one. Number two is ladies are now capable. They have their own spaces. They have access to gyms. They have access to other classes and wellness industry, and at the same time being at the same time or coexisting in the same gym or spa, or this is something that never happened in the past in Saudi Arabia. So these are the big changes that I have seen and the market has seen during the last couple of years.
What about you, Milos?
I actually wanted to add something on that one because I felt I was in Saudi Arabia since 2021, so the major changes, like were happening before, apparently. But what I've seen is, let's say in 2021 and before, you will be fine providing a service. Now, if you provide a service, it's not enough for the market. Like you actually have to put and invest in the experience itself. So, like a Swedish massage before, it's not the same Swedish massage now. People want an experience like in its whole. Saudi is a very difficult market, to be honest. It's something that you need to like manage the expectations of people, and then at the same time to be cost effective and everything that we actually have to do to be sustainable. So my biggest thing that I saw with my own eyes is that shift from basic spas to now wellness as a concept, as people became more educated on what is wellness, because it's not new anymore, for people in Saudi, So when they become more educated, they are now demanding more. So you now need to, feed that hunger for the, market that market has.
Are we talking about the Saudi nationals, or are we talking about every nationality that's now there?
I would say, mainly because we are a membership-based club, so most of our clients, especially my club, is mostly like Saudis, let's say 90% of client base is Saudis. You do have also from the expats, because it's very easy to get comfortable in Saudi Arabia, so you are also increasing your standards and all of these things, so now we are all demanding, I think, the highest level of service.
Laura, have you noticed the same since you arrived?
Yes, I mean, I think for me, from when I first arrived, what's been so nice to see is the amount of Saudis that are welcoming wellness into the country and into the kingdom. And actually, even from me, from wellness tourism, we actually see the wellness tourism, it's predominantly Saudis that are actually vacationing in their own country now because they have that offering actually on their doorstep.
Yeah, I found it amazing, Rabia, when I went to Core, and the diversity of people there. You say mainly Saudi nationals, but the type of person, the age group of the people, they were young guys, they were old guys. It was a complete mixture of audiences. So are they after different things? I mean, you're in a lifestyle property rather than a hotel. Are they after different things, members?
For the member, our members are like a family, so they are coming to their own place. So we offer the gym there, we have the meeting room, we have the spa. Our spa, it's not like the normal spa to have massage or have facial, so it's more for recovery after the gym, before the gym. We have the technology, high technology, the product, detox program, so it's high end. So our member, they are going out, they are going to Shah, to Shano. So now we have in our place all this technology, this treatment, so they cannot, they can have it in this country. Yeah. So this is the change. As me before, I was there before 10 years ago, and now it's a big change. Different. Especially in my area, in my place, it's it's a start from Core, actually, yeah.
And I confirm what Rabia said about communities, because guests come to the gym, basically, they create that community that they want to attend all the time. So it's not about just purchasing a membership, coming to the gym and leaving. Many of them come, they don't work out, they just come to have a coffee, to chat with their friends, and then leave. So this is what we are aiming. I mean, I've been in the business for 15 years, I've never seen this before. So this is an element that we work on, part of our development of things in the Saudi market.
Yeah, because I noticed again at Core, there was a huge area coffee shop, and there were people, they'd finished their gym workout and they were just sitting there and chatting. And in fact, Faye and I went up to these two local guys because we were just putting our trade license into place, and we actually showed them our logo and the name, and we said to them, do you know what this logo says and what the name says? And they were so open-minded, and they told us all about registration and how to get a trade license and everything, so really open-mindedness. So we talked about the local population, the indigenous population coming to spas. How do we see the role of wellness tourism evolving? Daniela?
I would say from my perspective, Saudi is going towards the Saudi Vision 2030, and they're really trying to mix traditional with the wellness industry and all the innovation. And it's growing very, very fast. It's a huge market, as the colleague says, and it's developing such a nice way with the Saudi being very welcoming country itself. So there is a huge segregation, of course, of Saudis and expats. At the same time, they still like to keep that segregation of the male and female and respecting the local traditions, which is also very nice to see evolving the kingdom towards that way. So the wellness, it's growing market for all, because I believe the expats that used to live there before, it was very limited offerings. And Saudis also, it was also the limited offering. However, I do believe the Saudis are very well traveled, and they got that experience from outside, which now they can actually have in their own country, and they're really using it up to the maximum. So it's a very nice to see that part evolving, and with the huge projects that are going around all around the country, the Red Sea's developing, and Riyadh also. There's a very nice properties coming in, and at the end of the day, the Saudi is focusing on luxury. So this is the aim for all of us, to keep up to the standards and to bring it as fast as we can to the kingdom, so that we can actually follow the demand.
Right. So Charbel, you work with a lot of the properties within Saudi. Do you see a difference between, for example, the big developments, Amala and Shuri, compared to your spa in Riyadh?
Definitely. My spa was built 21 years ago, and we're actually running a renovation soon this year. And we are building 10 hotels around the KSA within the next 2030, 2032, which means that it is really challenging to find what's going to be different in every property, and this is what is getting us to get inspired from every destination to come up with a concept that is different from the others, because people would want to go to visit many of them, but they still need to see what's the experience, what's different, what's exceptional in that specific spa or wellness district. So development definitely is huge, but at the same time comes with challenges. These challenges are there, but we are there to solve them and to come up with what works for every single destination.
So you think it's a sort of like personalization of each area rather than doing one picture fits all?
I mean, with these openings, we always expect that the first people that will come visit are the locals. I mean, Saudis used to travel to experience, but now they have everything in their own country. So why not go to the Red Sea, to Alula, or wherever any hotel will open? So with that, definitely they would want to experience something else, because we want that guests to come, but at the same time we want to retain them. Why would they come back if there was nothing like different from the other destinations that they are visiting around the kingdom?
And it must be really important as well, like Saudi has such a high indigenous population,
Yes.
whereas if you compare it to the UAE,
Yes.
11-12% is indigenous in the UAE. In
And that's
Saudi,
the beauty
it's,
of it.
what,
That's the
60,
beauty.
70, 80%
Yes.
still
Yes.
indigenous?
Yes.
So you're actually attracting your own target audience, the people that live there, and the offering. What about the differences between, would you say, Milos and Rabia, the differences between Riyadh and Jeddah? Is there any differences?
There are huge differences. So even though we are the same company, like our sites are completely different. That's why I felt like kind of jealous, because you visited Riyadh and you're saying so highly of Riyadh.
I'm coming
you
to
have
Jeddah,
to visit
as well. I will.
Because it's completely different. Like the market is different. Like even Saudis are referring to each other. And emphasizing these differences. Like Riyadh being the people from the city. And very city based. When Jeddah is more like coastal town. Like more leisure, more sport vibe than Riyadh. What I've seen, like our clubs are completely different. So we are. That's one of our challenges actually, is how do you maintain the brand when your sites are so diverse, by emphasizing and embracing that change. So we are offering the same things, but there is a slight twist of like the way that we are approaching to it, like in Jeddah, the way that we are approaching to, you know, like even the human connection in Jeddah, it's very different. You know, like it's a different way that we are upselling, the different way that we are approaching clients from Riyadh and from Jeddah. Like we all have our, you know, like now already biases, you know, like on the differences. I would say that that's the biggest difference. And then, of course, like every site that is opening, as Laura mentioned, it's incredible that we see now Saudis actually being able to utilize their own country and beauties of their own country for, you know, like vacationing and all of these things with all of these giga projects that they're making.
And I moved to, well, I first came out to Dubai 40 years ago. And how would you say it's different, Saudi now, to other evolving GCC countries? Is there a big difference to, say, Bahrain when it evolved, Kuwait, Oman? Or what do you feel, Laura?
I feel for me it's the speed, it's the rate that Saudi is developing. They are not holding back. Like, now is the time to be in Saudi. Yes, they started the 2030 vision, and that was, 5 years ago now. We've only got 5 years left. The rate that we are building is unbelievable, and I think that's what really sets us apart from other places, is that they are on a mission, and they will succeed to get to that 2030 vision.
I think that's the big question everybody has to ask. Is it sustainable? Will you actually get the amount of people you need for the phenomenal amount of properties that's being built?
I think so, because the amount of properties that are being built are so diverse. So your target audience, and exactly what you were saying with the concepts, every resort that is being built, even every giga project that is being built and is being mapped out, it's been mapped out to make sure that they are going to draw in a different target audience for each location. And each location within itself has a different concept within each resort or hotel that's been built. So it's been very, very cleverly planned out. And the infrastructure then to support that as an economy as a whole has been thought about at the same time as well.
So that's touching on the challenges as well. So they must be completely different. Like Daniela, you have a one property hotel. Charbel, you have multi-properties. You're dealing with leisure. Laura, you're dealing with the Red Sea. What are the main challenges that you've had so far?
There are.
Do we have time?
Challenges or opportunities?
Do you have 2 hours? Do you have 2 hours to talk about this?
Thanks, Laura. Challenges.
Opportunities, I like to call them. I think for the two main ones for me is always been supply and talent. Obviously supply, making sure that we can get the products, that equipment that we need into the country and in a timely manner. And then the talent, so actually being able to recruit people to Saudi and actually sell them Saudi before they come here.
Where are you recruiting from?
All over.
All over.
I think that's what makes us so unique for the likes of spa therapists, for example, is we can't recruit Saudis because that's not a position that they would hold. So you actually maximise on that, and you actually market that we have such a diverse team from around the world that's right here in Saudi. You don't need to travel anywhere else because we have them from all over the world. But then on the flip side to that, being able to support the Saudi nationals in positions and actually develop them, educate them, so then they can run their own country, as part of the 2030 vision.
There is something that I wanted to add. Sorry, I speak a lot, but I
so
want
do
to
I.
add everywhere. This is something, that is a challenge because I want to see more Saudis in the spas. I want to, not to rely completely. Yeah, we have, international experience, but international experience has its own challenges, within itself, because expats in Saudi Arabia, they have an expiry date. There is a certain amount of years that you can spend in Saudi Arabia if you're not adjustable on all of these changes, because some of people may find this completely changing market very hectic. For them it's hard to catch up with all of these things. So I think that one of the challenges is actually educational part of wellness within Saudi and within the kingdom. How do we educate people to hold the positions on the spas and all of these things to become the next generation of people who are going to actually educate the clients.
Do they actually want to become involved in wellness? I mean, the Saudi nationals, do they want to learn? Would they like to learn? Would they like to have a school where they can learn Do some of them want to become therapists, or are they just interested in management positions? What's the general?
I love the last part. You know, like, I also have something to say, but
Yeah. I think for that they need more time. So that's why now we're recruiting expat, not Saudi people. They need it's about the religion, it's about the culture. So I think we need like not more than 20, 30 years to have like therapist, Saudi therapist so now to change this mentality, they are focusing to have like the Saudi product, the Saudi treatment. So to cover the Saudi therapist or the Saudi technician for that. So I think this is the challenge. We will never stop recruiting expat. So even there is expat, we need.
But I don't see it impossible happening. I mean, I see
same.
the will is there, which is very interesting. I agree that therapists would be the last to be ready to work in
Yeah.
Saudi, but it will definitely come. I mean, many academies are coming to create those profiles that do not exist. And I agree with them as well that recruiting for wellness and luxury professionals is being difficult, and that's why we get the expats to the country, which is another challenge because sometimes it takes time to get them in. So it's a part of the challenge that we all face in that industry. But I'm very optimistic about this happening. Not now, definitely, but it will
Yeah.
definitely come.
But
one
we
day.
also need to accept the fact that we are also kind of changing the narrative there. We are showing them what is wellness now. Now you can see actually growing need, you know, like for them to be involved in wellness, because now they're finally understanding it. Because all of them, they would love, you know, like for example, to be in fitness, but for them spa was touching someone's feet, you know, like there was no knowledge of like what is wellness, you know, like how do we actually target, you know, these things, what is recovery, what are technology based treatments, what are advanced facials, you know, like, and all of these things. So now you can clearly see that after you show them like what can wellness become, that they are slowly like, okay, and then considering some of, you know, like moves like in that direction, but of course managerial roles.
And everyone, I mean, wherever you go in, wherever you go in Saudi Arabia now, everyone speaks wellness, but maybe 20% of them know what wellness means. And this is our responsibility to get them to know what that means. Sorry, go ahead.
No, it's okay. Also for me, the challenges are there, such as recruitment, which is a challenge in every country of the Middle East. We also have the supply challenge, the high cost of recruitment, as the colleague says, we're focusing on the expats. But I'm very hospitality lover. I'm very passionate about it, and I remember when I started 24 years ago to work in hospitality, and during COVID, I couldn't find myself doing anything else. Said that, Saudi has a great potential, and the difference between the Saudi and other countries in the region is that the Saudi is starting from the scratch. There was nothing there. And I believe we are brought there also to evolve together with the Saudi nationals, to bring them to the different level. I believe we all stopped being traditional managers. We became leaders, teachers, trainers. This is at least my main job. And I have to disagree, but I still believe it's possible. Bringing the passion into youngers, especially, it's a very, very nice thing, and it is possible. Not probably with the therapist positions itself, but with the beauticians, because Saudi, it's very, very much involved in the beauty part, in that part of our business that we have it. So definitely the gyms are something, or the wellness places are something that they can evolve, and of course it will take time. But yet they are running also in the same speed as us, and hopefully they will be able to see it, because as of now there's a very less exposure from the Saudi to our, let's say, the interpretation of our world, and it's just the lack of knowledge. As soon as they get the knowledge, they will really love to be in our peaceful spas, in our harmony, in the place that is, I can say, the best place of any facility. Even the hotel, even if it's a wellness club, even if it's an individual club, it's a really place that everybody wants to be in. And as soon as the employees or the locals will see that, that will definitely be one of the very nice jobs for them in the future.
And I think that's it. They want to learn. They're so proud of their country. They want to learn. And I think actually a great example of this, we talk about spa therapists, but actually fitness instructors, what they've done now with fitness instructors, having an academy, so there's SAS Academy, that is literally taking thousands of new fitness instructors through their academy to be trained at such a level that they can actually then go and be fitness instructors in their own country. So it's already happening. It just needs to see more industry and more skill set to actually drive it into the way of, you know, making sure we've got the right receptionists, making sure we've got the right talent for potentially spa therapists in the future coming from Saudi.
Yeah, and you mentioned, Milos, about innovations. What do you see realistically the trends and innovations happening in the next 5 years? You already mentioned technology, the understanding of wellness. What else is going to happen?
We actually had this amazing panel about the AI. I think that, you know, like it will, either we love it or not, either we are prepared or not, you know, like it will come in some sense. It's just like being smart and on the way how we navigate, you know, like the use of that one. I do think that it will become, because apparently I feel like nothing is enough in this stage, you know, like I think that, you know, like the personalization exists, you know, like, but we need more. We need like actually curated for this person, for his whole well-being, you know, like up to the last cell, you know, like that's how I feel like that we should go in depth, because that's what people now want. I feel that also, like, even with AI, you can see like a certain model, you know, like, and it's like a scheme, and then they're just like applying. So it's still not super personalizable or something that in English, you know, like. But I do think that there is that increase of a demand, like everything to be super hyper personalized. Technologies for sure. I know that touchless wellness is here, you know, like, and I'm not saying anything bad about touchless wellness, you know, like, I think that it's going to be like a huge deal, but, you know, like, it's also how do you know, like, incorporate that one together with a, you know, like, still human touch, human connections, and all of these things. And one more thing, and I will stop, is I think that there is increase of a very a weird part of wellness, which is very fast wellness, you know, like, people want to come and do everything fast. It made me, you know, like, made very, you know, like, express menu. Everything that can be done, like, in 30 minutes, because people now want that one to be part of their day, but they don't want, you know, to spend 7 billion hours in the spa. So I think that all of these, those are the trends. I will stop now talking.
So that's the sort of innovations in a more of a lifestyle wellness situation. What about for you, Charbel? You've already mentioned some.
In AI-driven treatments, definitely. Biohacking tools are all over the place. They're coming. They are there and they will get developed. Definitely, we have the robot massage that we are now piloting in one of our hotels. I mean, it's a beautiful thing to have, but again, it needs to complement what we do, what the traditional spa does. So I've always fought, and I will always fight for the traditional spa to still be part of what we offer, because the human touch will never be replaced by any technology.
Yeah, totally.
Technology
agree.
is in all our spas. We're working on having that in different destinations based on what the demand of that destination is.
Daniela, do you see any trends, innovations for the next 5 years?
Definitely. I see Saudi going very fast into digitalization, so everything will eventually become more advanced, especially regarding also our industry. But however, I have to agree with Charbel, because I'm still for that traditional part, because nothing will replace us in any sense or position in the hospitality itself. We can get served coffee by the robot, or we can get served at the reception, or we can book the treatment online, which is happening since long ago. But that traditional part is something that I also believe the Saudi will want to keep, because in everything they do, there is always involved the part that is very traditional, and then there is a AE part, that it's kind of complementing that part. So definitely, yes, the industry will grow, but I do believe that will just keep us diverse as it is, and it will not be focused on the certain elements only, and that's what's going to be the beauty of such a huge kingdom, to have all these different opportunities and treatments or technologies to have or to use. So will be available for all type of publics, which is quite huge.
I think it's very dependent on the audience as well, isn't it? It's what individual people want. I mean, some people love technology. We've introduced it into a lot of our treatments. Some people want the hands-on completely. Let's change the subject. Great changes we've seen with respect to sustainability. What opportunities do you see in introducing sustainability and eco-friendly practices, for example, at Four Seasons? Charbel?
I mean, this is one of our pillars at Four Seasons, and building every single element in a hotel or a resort is based on sustainability. So is it basically at the spa or at the wellness district or around the resort? This is going to be definitely the first step towards building whatever concept we have.
And do you see that across the board in rooms, in spa, in products, in
yes.
equipment that you use,
Yes.
everything?
Everything,
Yeah.
every single element that we work with or create or come up with has to have a sustainable background or a story behind it to support that element in the stories that we deliver to the guests.
And Rabia and Milos, do you find the same in the core philosophy?
I would say that, yeah, for sure. We are, trying to implement that's very difficult, but it's doable. I've seen very luxury brands that are using even the packaging that is like full, biodegradable and sustainable and all of these things. I do think that that's the future. I think that we do actually need to think, of course, about the environment, but there is a huge aspect that we are not always thinking about, is the amount of energy that we actually need to run the spas. The amount of water, the amount of electricity, and all of these things. Like, what are we doing there to become more sustainable? Yes, I can, change the packaging of the products, but let's think about, a bigger picture. What is happening when you don't have, a high season, but you still need to have a fully, functional facility and all of these things. So I think that there should be shift there a little bit, of the energy, on a bigger scale, not only the product wise, but that is a project for each, site, and something way bigger than the spa itself.
Rabia, Laura, anything to add?
I think for the fact I work in the Red Sea project and it is fully focused on sustainability, it is exactly what you're saying. We're powered by solar panels, because you've got to be thinking before your build now of how you can actually be sustainable. So yes, everyone has sustainable packaging now, but it's actually looking at the bigger picture and the bigger impact of sustainability, and that comes down to the build itself.
Yeah, and every day, the things that you're using, the towels that you're washing, all the therapist practices from the time the guest walks in to the time that they leave at night, when you have all the cleaning to do and the air conditioning and... Yeah.
And that's it. It's actually educating our own teams on sustainability in that sense, that it's not just about the packaging. It's actually about how much linen we go through, how much water we use, the electricity at night time. Are we leaving the lights on? Are we turning them off? So I think it definitely comes down to education of the team members.
Great. And what about looking at the bigger picture from an international standpoint? What impact do international collaborations, partnerships have on shaping the wellness picture at the moment?
It's definitely needed. I mean, the country is expanding now, which means that the international standards are not there, which means that these international brands and international interference will definitely support in meeting those international standards that we have as a brand or any other brand. So education is important, yes, for the locals and the nationals, but still that influence of the international standards is important to meet the expectations of what luxury is in the country.
And are they welcoming that within the community?
Very well, yes. Yes.
Yes, for me, I believe it's a huge impact, because We have very much luck of any or many international brands across the region. It's a still developing community, so it will have a huge impact because the way that people will learn is through all these different kind of offerings and different kind of things. And it's very important that all the brands or whatever suppliers or chains are there to bring them in, because that will bring additional knowledge for Saudis, and that will expand the market, and that will help us basically have different concepts, different ways of presenting the things and selling it to the guests also. So it's it will be great impact when they come, and Saudis are, as I said, very welcoming nation, very welcoming community also for the expats or everything that's new. They're very appreciating, and at the same time they're still keeping that little part that is traditional, which any international brand can mingle very, very easy with it.
And that's what stands out compared to the other GCC countries. I mean, culture is there, which you don't really find in the other GCC countries. And this is where we get inspired and supports us in coming up with great concepts that will reflect that through the experience that we give to the guests.
And do you think that will be still true in the terms of like areas like the Red Sea, where they're building completely new developments? Do you think the cultural element will be able to be kept there?
And it is. That's what we build on, that our concept on is the culture of Saudi Arabia, but also the environment of the Red Sea. So anything that we do in the way of our treatment menu, in the way of touch points that we have, it's either celebrating the culture of Saudi or looking at implementing something from the environment of the Red Sea as well. So you have to, and they want to, because again, with Saudi, this is what attracts people to Saudi. It's undiscovered. People that are traveling here want to learn about it. But what's really interesting is that the locals coming to a different area that they might not have come to before, they actually want to learn about that region as well.
And some elements that you find at the Red Sea, you cannot find them in any other region of the KSA, which means it has a special touch too. So
Yeah. I also think that international collaborations and exposure to like outside brands have two roles, kinda. One is exposing the Saudi, like to the world. People are finally seeing Saudi for what Saudi actually is. I swear to God, I still think that some of my friends think that I live in a tent in a desert, but now they have like the vision of like what is Saudi. But also it helps us position on the market, because like when locals and when actual consumers are seeing the international brands that we are using, the collaborations that we have, it kind of like elevates the standard. So we are like actually it's beneficial like for also our.
So let's talk about audiences. Who do you think can be encouraged into this wellness world in Saudi? You're saying now that there are some people in, who are loving the idea of learning, of being educated, of being encouraged into a more wellness environment, improving their lives, improving longevity, for example. Who do you see the audiences, say, next 5-10 years within the Saudi?
I believe as Saudi being very virgin country, it's everyone. It's everyone, because everyone that comes even for the first time, they're delighted by everything they see, they like it, they're very friendly, and they're very thankful for whatever we are doing for their own country. So Saudi will definitely be the number one market that will emerge there. However, the expat community is growing also, because with the easy process of getting visas and easier recruitment part of visitor part, because that's the best point that actually Saudi has done in many years to open the country. There is a huge amount of visitors, of the people that would like to come and live and work right now in Saudi, having a sense. So that's another audience that we will have to attract, because that audience will look for something known, for something that they already had, and to adjust it to their life, so will not be something that they will be missing. So definitely, I believe it's everyone that it's right now in Saudi, because many generations, they haven't seen nothing similar, and they're very happy to get to know it. And the ones that are seeing it outside, they're very happy to seeing it in their own country. So it's just endless market for us and for the hospitality itself, because we can see that across the restaurants in Fairmont we have amazing facilities that people are visiting, and mostly it's Saudis and expats also, depending of the theme or the day or the topic that is going on around the facility.
Great.
I was going to say, just so true with that. I was going to say, literally, it was on the tip of my tongue. Everyone. And what's so rare is, what other country in the world could you sit here and say that about wellness? That everyone wants to be part of it, and it's an incredible and exciting time ahead in Saudi.
So a question for all of you. What advice would you give to anybody wanting to relocate to Saudi?
I love that everyone's like,
Please do.
please do
Just
it.
do it. Just do it.
Just do it.
I mean, we spoke about recruitment being really challenging. So I've been asked more than 10 times since yesterday until today, how is it in Saudi Arabia? How do you make it to live in Saudi Arabia? I'm very comfortable. I have my life there and really enjoying it. So just come, discover, and then it is the future.
Yeah, you want to say something? Definitely. I love to speak, like about the things that people don't want to speak about. Financial opportunities are amazing. Salaries, I think, are the highest, like in the GCC. So for sure, for that financial opportunity, I would recommend Saudi Arabia. However, I'm always like managing people's expectation. I'm like, be careful, like understand that you're coming in an environment that is not very well, like known, something that is familiar to any other, like culture. So you're always kind of giving them, like the both sides, like there are some, like of the sides, but also things that I found challenging when I came there are kind of getting solved. Like for me, it was the lack of art. Like I love theater, I love all of these things, like a circus and everything possible that you can find. Like now I'm getting circus in Riyadh, like I'm getting all of these attractions. So, like it's, your lifestyle will soon become very, very familiar, like to what you had already in the past. Yeah.
Laura,
Just do it.
Advice.
This is what I
Just do
say.
it.
Just do it. Now is the time. When are you ever going to see a country go through this type of change in our lifetimes? Just do it now. Get in whilst the builds are happening and while it's still exciting. And I think for me, if anyone ever asks me if they should, have an opportunity to come to Saudi, I always tell them, do it, but embrace it if you do it.
Yeah, and also be aware of the cultural differences and the respect that you have to have for that culture. I found everybody so welcoming. I just found it totally amazing and awe-inspiring. But to be aware of those cultural differences. I think, 40 years ago in Dubai, when people came here, they were aware of those cultural differences, and unfortunately a lot of that has been lost now. But in Saudi, it's something that you have to be extremely aware of. Rabia?
For me, it's it's time. Really, it's time, and we start for my experience. We start as a membership club. Now we are going for the world, like Egypt, Paris, London. In Saudi, we are going for the hotel, for the Riyadh Season Hotel, for the Ula Aman group. So it's we are part of the success. So it's after 10 years or 20 years, I will say to myself, I do that. I am part of this success in Saudi Arabia. So it's time to come to Saudi Arabia. Yeah.
Sorry.
And,
Say. No, please, Habibi. There is one more thing, that I wanted to say there, which is, it is one of the rare countries that is now, developing very fast-paced, wellness. So now is the time to be there, because you are now pioneering all of these things. You're now the part of that change, and it is actually rewarding. Once you have, we were fortunate enough that we were starting something in Saudi in our clubs that we are working, and being we were the first ones. Now it's like, how do we keep up with the like growing market? But we were the first ones like to establish this one. We were first. It's rewarding feeling, honestly.
Yeah, I remember that 25 years ago when I first started in the spa business. It was there are actually only 3 hotel spas in Dubai. So again, it's grown not as a fast as pace to Saudi, but definitely.
It's quite the same now. So in Saudi Arabia.
So lastly, I wanted to ask you all if there was one thing that you could wish for, one thing that you need in order to build your spa, to build the wellness industry, to build the whole reputation, properties, what would that be?
To me, it's easier registration process and all these formalities that need to be done for the new brands that we are bringing to the country to showcase what we can do.
First of all, the reason why people should come to Saudi, it's related to the previous question, is you have all these business industry veterans that were brave enough to go to Saudi even without knowing it. So it's a great opportunity for everyone to learn, to start growing, because I believe most of our colleagues are stuck in somewhere because it's a very, very high competition. There is a lot of other spas in the market in any other country, while in Saudi that's still very, very virgin. So this is a great opportunity for all those that wish to grow, that would like to bring themselves to the next level. And regarding the one thing, I still will vote for people. We can have any product or any brand or whatever we want to bring. That's just a matter of time in Saudi. The process, it's a little bit slow, but it's getting there. But definitely people. Even at the core, Fairmont, and my personal philosophy is that people will make luxury, people will make place, doesn't matter what we're going to place in there. So this is the reason I wanted to connect it to the previous question, is that it's very important that the people look Saudi in a very open mind, which if you would ask me 6 months ago, I just brought a very traditional clothes and abayas, and I ordered them and bought them. I haven't used them yet. And I had to do another shopping, so that wasn't funny. But again, it's a people that we will need, and that's going to make us, as they say, also the difference in the future, that we will be able to build something from the scratch. That's going to be our baby. It is our baby right now because it's just being born and getting grown, and definitely we have to be there to support it and to see it evolving. And as Rabia said, it will be great to see it in some years, something that we have done in the past, because that's all of our mission, I believe, also.
One thing you'd like to see?
Yeah. Will you please repeat the question? I have a sparkle of ADHD, so I just need to...
One thing that you'd like to see that could make the spa industry thrive for you at Core?
Okay. Procurement. Dare I say better procurement policies and procedures within the Saudi. Sometimes it's like a bingo. You don't know when you're getting some of the products, you don't know how you're going to source them. Registration from all of the products is very challenging. Let's say we'll have the challenge word. Second thing would be probably the visa processes, because also it is another thing that you never know how long it will take for people that are coming to Saudi Arabia, so you cannot properly manage your forecast and all of these things on the manpower. And lastly, I've seen some of the suppliers here, but I would love diversifying the supplier market in Saudi Arabia. Because if we are talking about people about stuff that people don't want to talk about, me as a spa, I want the best price. So I want to have a market that I can choose from. So that would be the thing that will make my life easier in Saudi, managing the spas.
Very similar to what everyone said. Procurement's our biggest one, to then allow us diversity of what we can offer. Recruitment is a huge one for the visa process itself, because it's very lengthy. But thirdly, for me, it's education as well, of just making sure that once we actually recruit our team members, that we can actually then continue to educate them within the kingdom and not have to fly them out to do courses in different locations, is that we can actually develop them from within the country as well.
Last but not least, Rabia.
Actually, it's the same. Just about the recruitment, it's about the talent. So yeah, so the quality of the therapist and the education. This is also issue in their CV. So we cannot believe 100% their CV. Yeah, that's that.
Great. Well, thank you so much, everybody. That's a brilliant
thank you.
insight into life and wellness into a fairly new territory, which, as you said, is just growing phenomenally quickly. Do we have any questions from the audience for our wonderful panel?
No?
I think we've covered everything so
We are
well.
hiring.
We should reset the sound like zrr,
Anything else? Oh, Mr. Garini.
himself.
Quick question. I heard that in Saudi, when you have a business, you need at least a ratio between locals and expats.
Yeah.
The problem is the population is limited in Saudi. I don't know how much, 40 million, 20, and will there be a problem one day that and the ratio is quite narrow. It's not like in Dubai. In Dubai, when you have a business, I think when you start having 100 people or more, or even more, then you need to have one local, so it's not a big issue. Is this something you face it, or?
Yeah.
We do face this. I'll speak about my hotel. Some departments need to be 100% nationals. You cannot have any expats, such as people and culture, which are the human resources. Sales need to be nationals too. And some key positions can be like expats. However, the quota is around 35 to 36% at the moment. However, this is increasing really quickly. So this is one of the challenges again. We need that education to have those nationals, Saudi nationals, able to get the jobs when this ratio is getting higher.
There are so many projects. Sorry, there are so many projects coming, and there's not enough locals. So there will be kind of all hotels will be there, 250 new hotels, but you cannot. You can hire staff from outside, but you cannot fulfill this rule. This was.
That's true. I mean, this is not at our level to solve. We work with it, and then this is why we are here today to bring. Speak of opportunities, but at the same time speak of challenges.
If I may add, that opportunity, it is there. It has to be 30 or 35% of the Saudi, and that's a Saudization part. However, I believe this is why we are there. So our job becomes much tougher, much more difficult, but also this is what we were raised and prepared for, to try to get the best of it, to try to attract as much talent as we can, because there's a lot of young Saudi generations that never worked and that they have to work right now. And it's our job to make them like our industry, to make them like the hospitality, and to be at the service of other people as they are at our service, because I haven't met one Saudi that never said, "Welcome to Saudi. Welcome." They don't say, "Nice to meet you." They say, "Welcome to Saudi." So it is a tough task, but it's something that's from the top of the government and that we have to make happen.
Anyone else? Questions? Thank you so much for coming, all of you, all the way from Riyadh. And thank you for partaking in all our questions and answering some quite tough ones. Thank you very much.
Thank you.